There are moments in the world of live broadcasts that feel completely unscripted, almost accidental, yet somehow they become the ones people talk about for days, weeks, even months. And then there are moments that go beyond that, moments that don't just entertain, but make fans pause, rewind, and ask themselves, wait, did that really just happen? That's exactly what unfolded during one unforgettable live session when Jungkook and Jimin appeared together, and what started as a casual interaction quickly turned into something far more captivating. Jungkook gets too clingy with Jimin on live. Jimin's reaction says it all. That single idea alone sparked waves of reactions, edits, and discussions across fan communities, and honestly, it's not hard to see why. At first glance, nothing seemed out of the ordinary. Two members of a globally beloved group sitting comfortably, talking, laughing, sharing moments with fans. It's something armies have seen before, right? But if you've followed their dynamic even a little, you know there's always something unique about the energy between Jungkook and Jimin. It's playful, it's warm, and sometimes it blurs the line between teasing and genuine affection in a way that keeps everyone guessing. And during this particular live, that line didn't just blur, it practically disappeared. It began subtly, a glance that lingered just a second too long, a small shift in posture, Jungkook leaning just a bit closer than necessary. At first, it could be dismissed as nothing more than comfort between close friends. After all, they've spent years together, shared countless stages, and built a bond that naturally comes with time. But then, Jungkook didn't pull away. If anything, he leaned in even more, his behavior growing noticeably softer, more playful, almost clingy. And that's when fans started noticing, not in a loud, obvious way, but in that quiet, collective realization that spreads through a live chat like wildfire. Comments start flying. Is it just me? Why is Jungkook so close? Jimin's reaction. Suddenly, everyone is watching not just the live, but every tiny interaction within it. What makes this moment so interesting isn't just Jungkook's behavior, it's Jimin's response. Because while Jungkook seemed completely unbothered, almost unaware of how affectionate he was being, Jimin's reaction told a different story. There was a flicker of surprise at first, like he wasn't entirely expecting it. Then came that familiar smile, the kind that feels both amused and slightly shy at the same time. It wasn't over the top, it wasn't exaggerated, it was subtle, but it said everything. And that raises an interesting question. What exactly were we witnessing in that moment? Was it just playful fan service, something idols are often expected to deliver? Or was it something more natural, something that slipped through because it wasn't meant to be analyzed in the first place? If you think about it, that's part of what makes these moments so powerful. They feel real. In a world where so much content is curated, planned, and carefully presented, a moment of spontaneity stands out immediately. Jungkook didn't look like he was performing. He didn't glance at the camera to check angles or reactions. He simply acted the way he felt in that moment, and that authenticity is what drew people in. But let's not ignore the bigger picture here. Jungkook has always had a playful, affectionate side, especially when he's around people he feels comfortable with. And Jimin? He's known for being expressive, emotionally open, and incredibly warm. So when you put those two personalities together in a relaxed setting, is it really surprising that moments like this happen? Still, there was something different this time. Maybe it was the timing, maybe it was the mood, or maybe it was just one of those rare instances where everything aligns perfectly to create a moment that feels almost cinematic. Jungkook leaning in, Jimin's reaction with that mix of surprise and fondness. It wasn't dramatic, but it didn't need to be. Sometimes the quietest interactions leave the loudest impact. Fans, of course, had plenty to say. Social media quickly filled with clips, slowed-down versions, zoomed-in reactions, and countless interpretations. Some saw it as pure friendship, a natural display of closeness between two people who have known each other for years. Others saw something deeper, something that felt almost too genuine to be dismissed as casual interaction. But here's where it gets interesting. Why do moments like this resonate so strongly with people? Why does a simple interaction during a live broadcast turn into a viral discussion? Part of it comes down to connection. Fans don't just watch, they invest emotionally. They pay attention to details, to expressions, to changes in tone and body language. And when they notice something that feels different, something that stands out, it creates a sense of collective discovery. It's like being part of a collective experience where everyone is seeing the same thing and reacting together in real time. There's also the element of mystery. Not everything needs to be explained, and in fact, the lack of clear explanation is what keeps people talking. Jungkook's clingy behavior, was it intentional? Was it unconscious? Did Jimin expect it, or was he genuinely caught off guard? These questions don't have definitive answers, and maybe they're not supposed to. What matters more is how the moment made people feel. For many fans, it was heartwarming. There's something comforting about seeing genuine affection, even in small doses. It reminds people that behind the performances, the fame, and the global spotlight, there are real human connections. At the same time, it's important to approach these moments with a sense of balance. It's easy to get carried away, to build narratives that go beyond what's actually shown. But respecting the boundaries of the artists is just as important as enjoying the content they share. After all, what makes moments like this special is their authenticity, and overanalyzing them too heavily can sometimes take away from that. Still, it's hard not to replay that scene in your mind. Jungkook leaning in, Jimin's subtle reaction, the way the atmosphere shifted ever so slightly. It's the kind of moment that feels small in real time, but grows bigger the more you think about it. And maybe that's the real magic of it, not the action itself, but the way it lingers, the way it sparks conversations, theories, and emotions long after the live has ended, the way it reminds fans why they fell in love with these personalities in the first place. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about what happened, it's about what it represents. A glimpse of something genuine, something unfiltered, something that doesn't need to be perfect to be meaningful. So now I'm curious, what did you see in that moment? Did it feel like just another playful interaction, or did it stand out to you in a way you can't quite explain? Was it Jungkook's behavior that caught your attention, or was it Jimin's reaction that made you pause? Let me know what you think, because honestly, that's part of what makes these moments so special, the way everyone experiences them a little differently. And if you enjoy breaking down moments like this, don't forget to stick around, because there's always another story, another interaction, another moment waiting to be discovered.